The number one mindset shift that helped me make my first million in my tutoring business is realizing that I am not the only tutor that's going to make this business grow. In most cases, your success so far in business has been purely because of you. You are most likely the solo tutor. You're the main tutor of your business. People know your business because of you. They might not even know your tutoring business name really because they just know your name. You might not even have a business name. You just have your name and you just get out there and you have people coming to you because of you. And so this is great to help you go from zero to tens of thousands to maybe even your first hundreds of thousands. But if you want to take your business to the next level, if you want to breach that 6 figures and move through to 7 figures, then you are only one person and you can't do it on your own. Let's say you make $100 an hour and you multiply that by 20 students and you get tutoring every single week without fault from your students. So let's say 52 weeks. 100 times 20 times 52 is $104,000. You have breached 6 figures, but this is you still on your own. It's not leveraging what it's going to take for you to up level and stage up to that 7 figures. So in this video, I'm going to dive deeper into this one mindset shift that I made from being a solo tutor, thinking that I could do it all on my own and that this business was all about me and people would only come to my business for me, to actually having a team of over 35 tutors who were happy, who had happy customers, and who customers actually started referring other people to those tutors. And so it wasn't a story or narrative about me anymore. It was a story and narrative about our team. So hello, my name is Lisa. If you don't know me, I am a tutor coach. I talk all things about starting and scaling your tutoring business on this YouTube channel. And the reason why I talk about it is because I started off as a humble tutor myself many years ago, over 15 years ago now, and I built up my solo tutoring business to quitting my pharmacy career, moving into tutoring full-time, and eventually building up my business to make over $2 million in sales. And we publish study guides that were used by teachers all over Australia. And my YouTube videos for Lisa Study Guides were used in classrooms to teach thousands of students. So I've learned a thing or two about what it takes to grow a successful tutoring business, not just in terms of monetary, but truly building a good culture, a good company that has raving reviews from customers, because we want to build a business that we truly feel proud about. So if you like my approach to the business and you want to hear more of what I have to say, I'd love for you to subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'm going to be aiming to publish a YouTube video every week from now on. If not, it's going to be every couple of weeks. If I fall off the bandwagon, just know that it's because business is growing and it's because there's lots happening behind the scenes. But I'm here and I want to help tutors like yourself grow your businesses, because I just know that there's just not many people out there who are in this industry talking about their pathway that they've walked and who have truly walked the talk. So let's talk about what you're potentially feeling right now and how we can actually bridge the current mindset you have to actually start hiring tutors for your team, start leveraging a team so that you can really upscale to that next level. Now, up until this point, you have built your personal brand. That is effectively what it is. It's a brand about yourself. It's all about people referring and talking about their tutoring experience with you as a tutor and telling other people, hey, you should get Lisa as your tutor. Like, she's amazing. She's great. Make sure you get her. And so you're getting phone calls from people who say that they've heard about you from their friends and family, and you're used to that. You're used to that narrative of, hey, you've been great. That's why you've been able to build your business up to the place where it's currently at the moment. And I'm talking to you if you're somebody who, you've got consistent students, you've got consistent leads coming through the door. You don't even need to do much potentially, but your phone's off the hook. Like, people are messaging you all the time, just out of nowhere going, hey, I heard about you. Can you tutor me? And maybe you're even fully booked out right now and you're just at capacity. You have a waiting list, but you just don't want to take that leap of hiring a tutor. And so I would actually say that at this point in time, you might even have a little bit of an ego. And it might not be the biggest ego in the sense that, you think you're the best thing in the world and you're awesome and all of this, but it may be the sense of, people coming to me because of me. Like, I'm the one who makes this business. People know me. And so instead of thinking in that way, what we want to do if you want to start leveraging a team, if you want to start onboarding tutors, is we're going to reframe how we think about our business. Instead of thinking it as, this is Lisa Tran's business, this is my business, we're now going to start thinking of it as, this is our business, this is our team, and what we can help you accomplish together. And so the mindset shift that is happening here is no longer one of, nobody is going to be as good as me when it comes to tutoring, I'm irreplaceable in my tutoring business, to, okay, I actually believe that if I can build a team and if I can teach them in the right way, maybe teach them your methodologies, your philosophies, but understand that they're not quite you even still, and we'll talk about this more later in this video. But if you can see that you are going to have a greater impact with a team, that's going to be really fruitful to help you make that switch from solopreneur to actually a CEO. Now, one of the things that a lot of people in this tutoring community have said to me is, oh, but what if I don't find anybody who's as good as I am? And maybe you don't say it in such a way that sounds so terrible or condescending to others, but it's this mentality of, oh, but I don't know if anyone can do it as well as I do. I don't know if anybody will care about these customers as much as I do. I don't know if anybody is really going to put in that extra mile for these students. And I don't know if there's anybody out there who's going to create lesson plans like I do, or read all of the students' texts, which for me, because I taught English, I had to read like 1984, Macbeth, like all the books outside of the tutoring sessions, just to make sure that I was capable inside the tutoring session to teach those texts. So what I want you to think about here is not how do I find somebody who is as good as me, but how do I find a tutor who is unique in their own way and can bring their own strengths to the table. One thing about us being in a service-based industry is that we are not a product. We're not selling a course. And so because we're not selling a course where it can be repeatable, you just give the same course to every single person out there and they get the same experience. We're offering a service. And naturally, when it comes to a service-based business, it's people-to-people interactions. And every single person out there is going to be different. You don't, unfortunately, have a clone of yourself. We're not in 3000s right now, maybe when there's going to be clones. We're not there yet. So that's not a pathway we can talk about right now. But if you want to grow a team to get to that next level, you have to understand that it's okay for people to not be exactly like you. And instead of figuring out how can I find people who are just like me, who think like me, who behave like me, which is so difficult, have a think about what are the main qualities I want in my tutors that are going to make me proud to grow this business? So for me, when I looked at my tutors, I knew that skill set was something that could be trained. After all, I was somebody who started off with literally zero tutoring experience. So I can't expect someone out there to start this business, start tutoring, and be at the level that I'm currently at, having had over 15 years of tutoring experience. So instead, the qualities I was looking for was more so about their attitude. Did they have the right attitude? Like, were they ready and keen and motivated, and they were willing to put in that work so that they could become really great tutors? Did they have a great personality that I felt would gel with the type of students I already had? Because that essentially is cultural fit. Right now, if you have a business that's already got students, there is already a culture that is happening between you and your students and your parents. For me, it was the fact that I had students who were very bubbly, they were very friendly, they were very chatty. Surprisingly or not surprisingly, very much like me. And so that was the experience that they had in the business. And I knew that if they were referring other people to the business, that those people would probably expect something similar, because let's say my student would say to their friend, my tutor's Lisa, I really like working with her. She's just so friendly. She's also bubbly and she makes the sessions fun. Like, she gets to know you as a person and she's able to relate your real life experiences to what she's actually teaching you in the English books. And so that friend is now coming to the business and they've already been primed for that type of experience. And if they don't get you, that's okay. But if they get somebody else who's a tutor who has that similar type of cultural fit, then the chances of them sticking around with that tutor and being consistent with that tutor is actually a lot higher than if you're just trying to hire any tutor off the block and you're just desperately trying to get anybody who is willing to say yes. So be really intentional with the tutor that you plan to hire for your business or the tutors that you plan to hire for your business. Not everybody is going to be a good fit for your business, and you're the only person who can really ascertain and understand what sort of cultural fit is going to work. And that also takes experience as well. You've come from being a solo tutor now to actually moving into a role of a manager. And being a manager is super, super challenging and a whole new skill set within itself. So give yourself grace and understand that this is also going to take you a bit of time and practice to figure out what kind of tutor is actually going to be a good fit for your business. Just like in the beginning of you starting your tutoring business, you might have been unsure with how to actually sign on board students, and maybe initially you found a whole bunch of non-ideal fit students, but now that you've been doing this for a little while, you've found students you really love teaching, and you can just see from a conversation, from a sales call, whether or not they're going to be a good fit or not. And the same thing will happen for you and your tutors. Now, if you're feeling super unsure about how to hire a tutor, don't worry, I've got your back. I have created a document where I've literally pulled out my systems and processes from Lisa's study guides, literally copy and pasted into this document. I teach you how to write a job description for your ideal fit tutor, but also the interview questions that we had to identify if a tutor would be a good fit for our team or not. So feel free to go and download that. And I hope that that helps you feel one step more confident in hiring your next tutor or maybe even your first tutor. Okay, so we've talked about the fact that we don't want to hire people who are exactly like us. We're not looking to hire people who are as good as you. We're looking to hire people for their own unique strengths. Now, when you acknowledge that your tutors are not going to be you, this actually opens up a flood of possibilities for you to actually truly see the tutor and see how you can train them up to be as good as possible for themselves. And I think what was really interesting for me as somebody who's gone through this journey is initially I had that mentality of, I'm the one who did this business. Like, people coming to me for me. But I found that over time, because some tutors just got so good at what they were doing, they built the experience, we gave them the training, and we kept them motivated, that they actually, truly, in my opinion, I feel like they were so good that they were probably even better than me. And I think once you get to that point where you realize that someone else can work in your business and they're the ones who can get referrals for your business, they're the ones that are clocking in the hours and making your business money, that realization just opens up so many doors for you, because it is that reward that finally shows you that you made the right choice in hiring tutors to begin with. Because in the beginning, of course you're scared, of course you're unsure, of course you don't know if this is going to work. But when that instance finally happens, and I know it can happen for you, that is just like, and then you realize from then it's just a matter of hiring more great tutors, training up more great tutors, and really helping to elevate people and building this business as a team. So let's talk about some of the ways that we can train your tutors so that you are a great coach and a great manager, because essentially that's what you are now. So ways you can actually train your tutors. It starts from the very beginning. It's not just a matter of giving them training, but it's about their entire experience at your company. So it all starts with making sure that you write a job description that attracts your ideal person. And so if you haven't gone and downloaded it, please feel free to download How to Hire Tutors for Your Team. I promise you it's going to be helpful. You can literally copy and paste it and use it for your own business. From there, you move into the interview process. And in many ways, this is like the make it or break it for your business. You either hire good tutors for your team, and it just makes your life so much easier to grow a good team, to grow a team that's already motivated, that's keen, that wants to be there, as opposed to hiring the wrong people for your business. And when you hire the wrong people for your business, that becomes apparent very, very quickly. Those people don't show up, they don't do the lessons, they're always canceling, they don't show any interest in getting together with the team, they don't show any interest in getting training, they're just like always busy with their own life, they prioritize whatever's happening in their life over tutoring. And so those people make your business difficult to grow, because if they're constantly prioritizing their life over tutoring, your students aren't getting the tutoring they need. So therefore your business isn't growing in income. Those students leave your business. They don't have a good experience with business, and they're not going to be the ones talking about your business and sharing word of mouth about you. So that's why the interview process is so important. Making sure that you have criteria points to vet people out who aren't a good fit, and that you have criteria points that bring in people who are going to be the right fit. Now, from there, it's the onboarding experience. So once you've decided to hire someone, you then want to make sure that their onboarding experience is a beautiful, fantastic, motivational, whatever, insert words that are going to make you feel good about their experience. In this onboarding experience itself, the main goal is that you want your tutors to feel valued. One comment that one of my tutors always said to me on multiple occasions was that how much she appreciated that she wasn't just a fish in the sea, in the sense that she wasn't just another tutor in the number of tutors that we had. And we had over 35 tutors. And at one point in time, we actually had 50 tutors on our team. And so she really, really appreciated that I recognized her, that I knew her as the leader of the business, that I made sure that she felt comfortable in that initial journey of becoming a tutor. Think about you when you started out your tutoring business, and think about you before you took your first lesson. Step back into that shoe and think about all the things you were scared of. Think about all the things you were excited about, and really tap into that as you onboard your tutors, because they're going through that exact same experience themselves. And the wonderful thing here is that you've got that experience behind you to actually leverage and now be able to coach others in. So with that onboarding experience itself, one key tip I have for you here is make sure you have students to give your tutors as soon as possible. The bigger that lag time is between when they sign up to your business to when they get a student, their motivation is going to dip, 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 dip. You want to catch them when they've just signed up with you, when they've just started, because people's motivation are going to be highest when they've just started working with you. And if you can meet them there and give them a student straight away, you're going to capitalize off that motivation and really catapult them into that first lesson. And they're going to be so keen to learn what they need to learn to go into that first lesson. They're going to take that lesson and iterate on it and just keep going. And that motivation in the following lessons is just going to stay strong. It's going to stay consistent. But if there's that lag time between them standing on, you giving them students, and when it dips low and lower, when you finally give them a student, maybe that motivation might bump up a bit, but it will never be as high as when they first started with you. This was a big mistake that I actually learned. So I had 5 tutors to begin with. Then I grew to 10, 16, and 20. And then at the start of a new school year, I had the 20 tutors, and I knew that they would get fully booked out because that was always a problem that we had. We were always reaching capacity no matter how many tutors I hired. So at the start of this school year, I figured to myself, duh, problem solving. Why don't I just hire another 30 tutors, take me up to 50 tutors altogether? And then I know that I'm going to be able to fully book them out throughout the course of the year. And this was true. I was able to book out these tutors, but the problem was that lag time in the beginning. So because a lot of students had graduated, a lot of these 20 tutors needed to sign on more students. So I was sort of starting on the back foot there, that a lot of the new students that came through, I would provide for my existing tutors and get them fully booked out. And then I started on my new tutors. But by the time I started on my new tutors, they'd been waiting, some of them a month, some of them 2 months, some of them 3 months. And by the end of that year, I actually noticed that in terms of our tutor churn, the ones that left were the ones that experienced that lag time. They were the ones that didn't have the best onboarding experience. So that is my tip for you. Make sure that you reduce that lag time as much as possible. So now that we've talked about the tutor's experience and where you need to be as the manager, as the leader of the business, I also want you now to think about the mindset that you have to realize that you are replaceable. The sooner you humble yourself and realize that you're replaceable, the sooner you'll be able to scale your business, because you are only one person and you can't possibly do all the things in your business that needs to be done. And when you start hiring tutors, everything the workload is going to increase. There's going to be a lot more administration in terms of managing your tutors. So you're going to be busy doing that. But there's also going to be the other tasks that are going to happen that eventually you won't be able to be capable of handling all yourself. You're going to need to deal with the finances. So all the invoicing of the students and parents, collecting that money and then paying your tutors. That's one task within itself. And then as your business continues to grow and you start giving those tutors more students, you'll probably need a salesperson, and eventually you'll need a marketing person, and etc. All the different roles in your business to take you from 6 figures to $1 million. Now, what I realized from my own experience is that I had a huge ego. I really thought that because I had built my business up until this state, that I knew my business best and I knew how things would work, and that there was nobody out there who would be able to do it as well as I would. And honestly, I think that mentality actually kept me quite small and stuck for a really, really long time. Once you shift that mindset from I'm irreplaceable to a mindset of I think there's somebody out there who can do this job well, and not only that, but they can actually do it better than me, that actually opens you up to more possibilities, because now you're primed to actually find that person who will actually take your business to that next level and who will actually be better than you at sales, who will actually be better than you at doing the administration work, who will actually be better than you at doing the marketing. And I can say that now with solid proof, because now in my business today, I have the right people in my business that I know and I trust that they can help me grow my business. Now, does this mean that you're not going to make mistakes when you hire people? No. Does this mean that your ego won't flare up every now and then and go, oh, I'm proven right, that person actually did end up sucking? That might happen, and that happened to me a lot. But I think the more you can lean into the fact that you can't possibly do this all yourself, and that the more you believe that there is someone out there who you can find who will do the work and who will do it really well, keep pushing through, keep hiring, firing until you find that right person. Because believe me and trust me, they are out there, but they are a needle in a haystack. It is so hard to find good people for your business. And hiring in itself is a skill set. Being a manager, as you've realized throughout this video, is a skill set in itself. Being a leader is another skill set in itself. So if you're somebody who is watching this video and if you've been like, Lisa, I get it, I know I need to hire, but the people I've hired, they haven't been a good fit. I've had to fire them. I just can't seem to find the right person. I've been there myself. And I think my failure there, my mistake, because not things, okay, let me rephrase. Things aren't failures, they're mistakes that we learn from, right? A failure, nothing is a failure if they're a learning lesson. But my mistake I made was I gave up. So when I started to try to find internal team members for my team, a VA, a marketing person, a salesperson, my fault was that because I couldn't find the right person after 1 or 2 times, I actually just gave up. And so for a really long time, my business, actually it was growing in revenue and it was growing in profit purely because we had really great word of mouth, we had really great customer service. But I feel that my business could have grown a lot more had I actually learned this lesson earlier in my career. Like, even like 2-3 years ago, I wish I'd known this. And I feel like if I'd known it, I would have put myself back out there again. And rather than going, flips table, I'm done, like there's just no one out there. That's just such a scarcity mindset. And I really want to encourage you to move to an abundant mindset, to trust that there is someone out there who can help you do this, that you are replaceable, and that the person you find is actually going to be so much better than you that you're going to think to yourself, where have you been this whole time? I wish I'd found you sooner. So having said all this, the mindset shift that you need to make in order to help your business go to the next level, to help your business grow, is that you're not the only tutor. You're not the only person who can make this business happen. If you want to grow your impact, if you want to reach more people, if you want to help more customers, then you're going to need to have a team behind you. If you found this video helpful, then I'd love for you to comment the word replaceable, because that tells me that you're buying into this idea that yes, you recognize that you're not the only person who can help make this business grow, and that maybe you don't even want to. It's exhausting. You can't do it all on your own, right? But if you can hire the right people, eventually you could be like me, where I only worked 5 hours a week in my tutoring business. I had it really good. I'd also just love to hear if you have any comments or any thoughts about this video that were helpful for you, and any questions that you might have as well that I can answer in the future. If you found this video helpful, then I encourage you to go and watch my other video where I talk about should you hire tutors for your team. This is essentially helping you understand, are you at a place where you're ready to hire tutors? What are the different contemplations that you should consider before hiring a tutor, whether or not that's going to be a yes for you or a no for you. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.